95-96. And then again, Tyler Hero, I know it's corny, but we say hero ball. He had a team-high 24 points, 6 3-point field goals made and 14 assists. Here's the Heat after the win with Bam Adebayo.
For us, we've been doubted a lot through our playoff runs. You know, as people saying we couldn't do a lot of stuff that we did. So for me and my team, it's like, why lose belief now?
It's the playoffs, and especially with that team, you know, it's never going to go how people expect it to go. And that's the beauty of being in the playoffs and playing at the highest level. It's part of it.
That's part of it. But the Heat, they made a franchise playoff record, 23 three-pointers, and that was the difference. Let me recap it for you, okay, Zach? Okay. Miami outscored Boston in the paint in Game 1, but they did lose. But in Game 2, they, reversed it, and they reversed that trend and evened up the series thanks to a playoff record 23 three-pointers. They outscored Boston by 33 points from deep. So, Zach, how did Miami get all those good looks?
One, they played really well, and two, Boston helped them out a little bit with some bad defense, especially early in the game. This one is a no-no. Don't help off the strong side corner. I don't know what Jaylen Brown is thinking here. You're just giving Nikola Jovic, who's playing well. Young Nikola Jovic, remember he was in the Blazers trade talks, just giving him a strong corner three. You can't do that. The rest, though, is the Heat just playing with force. Tyler Hero, decisive. Look how snappy that is. Snappy enough to force Al Horford onto him. That's a bad matchup. Here comes Duncan Robinson, full speed. They can't switch in time. That's just good, fast offense, and Tyler Hero was on it all night. Here's another one. This is another pick and roll. Boom, boom. And here's what Joe Mazzulla was talking about after the game. Sam Hauser says, I'm not coming out. I'm just going to close out short to you. I don't want you to drive. That was a clear directive from the coaching staff. Caleb Martin Curry was like, I'm just going to make threes.
Caleb Martin Curry, look at this, though. At the end of the day, Miami has been a team that really turns it up in the playoffs, and nothing shows that more than this matchup. The Heat have 4 games over the last 2 postseasons where they shot at least 50% from 3, and 3 of those games have come against the Boston Celtics.
That makes no sense.
It really doesn't. But you know what actually makes a little bit of sense? So The Athletic actually posted a column asking NBA players who was the coach that they most likely would like to play for. The answer was Eric Spoelstra. And it really especially shows in moments like this because Boston had a dominant regular season, posting 64 wins, but we did see a few red flags that Coach Spo knows how to really exploit. So, Ramona, does this Game 2 kind of validate some of those concerns that we had all over the regular season with Boston?
I don't have concerns about the Celtics. I think they're the most talented team in the NBA. I think that they went out and got Kristaps Porzingis because he is the ultimate advantage, and he had a horrible game yesterday. So I think everybody can have a bad game. He's like 1 for 9. He was a minus 32. Minus 32? I've never, that's
got to be a Celtic low for the whole season.
That's unbelievable. And they got him for this kind of matchup because usually the Heat last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, they would go zone against them, or they would blitz Jason Tatum, get the ball out of his hands. Porzingis is the ultimate advantage. He just wasn't good last night. And so I think I'm going to give them some space here. Everybody can have a bad game. And also, to me, the Heat just shot the lights out. Like, if they're going to make that many threes, which, by the way, they did last year. They did the same thing last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. If they're going to make, it's going to be hard to beat them. And these two teams are so familiar with each other, as you know, Coach.
Oh, no question about it. But look, let's be clear. The Heat won this game last night. They definitely won the game. And I was so impressed with Eric Spoelstra and how he had his team prepared. You know, when you talk about a guy like Spoelstra and being a top coach in this league, he does 3 things for his team. He gives them confidence, which we saw last night, accountability in a big way, and a structure of how to play. And that was on display yesterday. And I thought they took Kristaps Porzingis out of the game. Eric Spoelstra, as you can see, is 10-3 in Game 2s. After losing Game 1. He's 10-3 now. Wow. So that is huge advantage when you have a coach who's proven to make those kind of adjustments, and I don't think they're done making a little noise in this series.
Yeah, that's coaching 101. Confidence, accountability, and structure. I love all of that.
Do they all want to get in past the heat conditioning test?
No, I don't know if people like it.
Careful what you wish for.
You know what I mean? When you're a veteran, you really have to think through going through all of that. But, Zach, we already saw the defensive side of the ball. What did you notice from Boston on offense?
Do you think Eric Spoelstra would leave the Heat to be my life coach? I think I could use him as my life coach. I don't pay as well as the Heat do. But look, one thing he did in this game was juggle the matchups around right from Jump Street, put Bam on Tatum, and put Tyler Hero on Jaylen Brown, which seems like a bad matchup. But remember when the Warriors put Draymond Green on Jaylen Brown and said, go ahead and shoot? It was their attempt to kind of bait the Celtics into overdoing it with Jaylen Brown. Look at Jason Tatum. Took 2 shots in the fourth quarter, drew 2 shooting fouls. There were just too many aimless possessions like that. And the other thing that Hero on Brown did is usually opponents put their weakest defender on Derek White. And Derek White is quietly the engine of a lot of the Boston Celtics' best stuff because of that matchup. He screens for Tatum on and off the ball. They hunt the weak. And without that, Derek White kind of got taken out of the game. And with him, a lot of Boston's motion offense got kind of erased from the game. They were aimless, and they got to be ready for this. But who knows with Spo? He may not do it again. That may have been one time. We're pivoting. You don't know what he's going to do.
And let's not discount the switching that they did yesterday. They aggressively switched on all the ball screens after trapping in game 1. That changed, pushed them out further, made Boston play more isolation-type basketball. So, hey, let's see who's going to make the better adjustments in Game 3 of Miami going home.
Look, as good as the win was for Miami, it might have been better on social media because Jimmy Butler posted this to his Instagram, photoshopping himself as Jaylen Brown and using his quote from last year's playoff series saying, "Don't let us get one," quote, "feeling cute, might delete later." Psych, I ain't deleting this. What?
Pretty good Photoshop.
Just don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor. And those are the ones that cost us.
I just think sometimes when plays don't turn out the way you think they should, and the frustration sets in a little bit, but I don't think it's for us not being organized. I mean, I think I have incredibly talented coaches all along my staff, and we pride ourselves, whether it's a practice, a shoot around, a film session, a game, whatever, we pride ourselves on being highly efficient and organized. And so I just chalk that up to being frustrated. It's an emotional game and the way it ended and all of that, but I'll agree to disagree on that one.
The series shifts to L.A. tonight, and Dave McMenamin will be in the building. So, Dave, what can the Lakers do to really shift the momentum?
Well, Chiney, I mean, you heard those comments. The Lakers, at times this series, have looked like the better team. In the first half of the first 2 games in Denver, they averaged 59.5 points. The second half of those 2 games, only 41.5 points. So there's been a drop-off, and Darvin Ham's point has been, we just got to keep executing the stuff that we had been doing it and do it well. Continue to play with pace into the second half, not do things like roll the ball out in the backcourt to try to dwindle down the clock and get our team out of rhythm. Now, Anthony Davis's point, you read between the lines, is, hey, maybe we have some better instruction so everyone's on the same page as we deal with the Denver Nuggets making adjustments. So, right now we're going to see really the Lakers season either spring new life tonight or basically be put to bed based on what happens in Game 3. And there's not going to be a cavalry coming to save the day. I reported that Jared Vanderbilt is eyeing a return at some point this series. He was hoping perhaps as early as tonight. He's not cleared by the Lakers doctors for the night. There's no Christian Wood, even though we did see him at the practice facility getting up jump shots after practice on Wednesday, but he's not coming either. And the Lakers have kind of given up this tone of complaining about the referees. They realize the referees aren't going to save us either. It's going to be the same group that played in Game 2, and they got to find a way to play all 48 minutes, not just 47 and a half, and allow the Nuggets to steal the game like they did in Game 2.
Yeah, so the Lakers need to play with pace and get points, particularly in the second half, and they have to save themselves. Thank you so much, Dave McMenamin, for joining us and shedding a little light on the status of the Lakers moving forward, because the Lakers need to win Game 3, period. They are 2-25 in series when they're falling behind 2 games to none and haven't won a series like that since 2004. Remember, teams are 0-151 in series when going down 3 games.
I remember
than
that
9.
2004 series against the Spurs. That's the Derek Fisher shot.
Oh,
Remember the Derek Fisher shot
yes.
at the end of the game, and he just ran off the court?
Came after the Tim Duncan shot.
And I remember the 2004 finals, too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Those are flashbacks for me. I was very, very young during those days, but I'm glad those memories are very fond. Now, the Lakers, they are, y'all, back at home.
Yep.
They haven't played in Crypto.com since April 9th, 16 days ago. Home court should definitely give them a boost, but it's been 10 straight losses to Denver. So, Ramona, it seems like they need to change something. What is that?
You know, I talked to Darvin Ham about this. What do you need to change? What adjustments? He goes, if we hold the Nuggets to 101 points, we should win that game. Like, they improved on everything from game 1 to game 2. They feel good about the way that they defended Denver. I think they actually, I even talked to another coach in the Western Conference about how the Lakers play. What would you do? They said they actually played really well. They just need to not go 6 minutes without scoring in the fourth quarter. Like that fourth quarter was painful to watch. It wasn't just the foul or not foul on D'Angelo Russell. It was that they went for nothing. They couldn't score for 6 minutes in the fourth quarter. You get away from Anthony Davis. I think if they get anything out of Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura offensively, I know those two guys are busy defensively, but they actually played very well in those first 2 games.
The Lakers have been in position to win both of these games, to be honest with you, but I think they've got to just D'Angelo Russell is key to the series. He played well in game 2. He's got to play well again. They need something from Austin Reeves in this game from a scoring perspective. And to your point with Anthony Davis, look, I'm disappointed in Anthony Davis saying what he said. I'll be honest with you about that. I'm very disappointed. He's a veteran player. He knows better than that. You're in the middle of a war. You do not publicly point fingers at anyone. Darvin Ham, I know this man. He's very prepared. He's going to have his teams organized. He has a very good staff. So put all this stuff to bed. I think they will and come back and be ready to play.
I'll tell you what, Darvin Ham talked to Anthony Davis privately, right? And there was no animosity. He just said, I love you, and let's get back together.
Right.
And then publicly, I think his comments yesterday were sticking up for his coaching staff but not making it a bigger story. I think those two, whatever they needed to say to each other behind the scenes was said, and I think they pivot from it. I think he's right. That was a moment of frustration. I mean, I couldn't even watch that. The end of that game was painful to watch that.
But
like, what were you screaming at your TV?
But in fairness, though, we started off the season with the Lakers saying that Anthony Davis needs to be the franchise guy. And over the last few years, anytime the Lakers struggle, we keep saying the same thing. They need to get Anthony Davis the ball. In the fourth quarter, he only had 1 field goal. So I can understand why those frustrations might become vocalized in a way to hold, maybe in a small way, your coach accountable. But Zach, the Lakers, they were very close to taking game 2, even with that only 1 field goal from Anthony Davis. Are there any adjustments that they can make? How are you feeling?
Is this the time in the segment where we talk about the team that wins the game every time they play? I mean, it was Lakers this, Lakers that, Lakers coaches, Lakers this. Now, the other team won the championship last year, and they've beaten the Lakers 10 times in a row. The adjustment was made by Denver. Credit to Lakers. They forced the Nuggets to adjust. They put Jokic on Aaron Gordon. Jokic on Rui Hachimura, rather, and Aaron Gordon on Anthony Davis. And the Lakers kind of seemed confused in terms of, okay, do we want to now involve Rui in the pick and roll and attack Jokic, but what does that mean for AD? And they kind of lost the plot a little bit offensively. The big question for tonight is, does Michael Malone come out with that matchup again, or does he pivot back to Jokic on AD? And how do the Lakers respond to either of those things? But look, it's been 10 times in a row. It's cool that they've been in position to win a lot of these games. You get no trophies for that. They got to win one eventually.
It's Chet.